Hi there, Kim from thatsweetraw.com. I hope you are well. Today we are going to be talking the inhale for singing. Now, before I get started, I just want to point out that there are different schools of thought on this. There are different camps talking about breath and talking about breath support. So I want you to be discerning. I want you to try different things out for yourself and figure out what feels and sounds best for you. You have sovereignty, you get to decide. And so I know that we can head down a complete rabbit hole of videos, but I am going to show you what works best for me and what works best for my students. So the first thing is that we need to breathe differently in singing than we usually do day to day. Day to day, we just breathe shallowly in the chest. That is not going to help you a lot for singing. You're not going to get the capacity that you need, you're not going to get the air pressure that you need, and you are going to increase tension. So it does take a little while for us to train a new habit, a new way of breathing in. The first thing is that you want to avoid breathing into the chest. So if we don't breathe into the chest, where are we meant to be breathing into? 3 places. You want to feel expansion at the rib cage, you want to feel expansion at the belly, and a little bit at the back. This is in an ideal world. So when you are training the new habit, you need to stay really focused. Otherwise, it's just going to go back to whatever you were doing before. So I like to get people to tuck their hand under like this. The reason that we do it like this rather than like this is because that raises your shoulder, so it knocks you out of alignment. When you tuck your hand under like this, so I've got my fingernails sort of touching my rib cage there, you can keep the shoulder down. So when you breathe in, you want to feel a little bit of expansion here at the rib cage and a little bit of expansion here at the belly. So I'm just going to turn to the side so you can see that moving. Hold on. There and here. And you can pop your hand around to your back if you want to. We cannot breathe into our belly. So a lot of people will say, you can't breathe into the belly, there are no lungs there, and they are completely right about the no lungs in your belly situation. But if you breathe into the lower part of your lungs, the diaphragm is going to flatten on top of your digestive organs. That is why we feel the expansion at the belly, and it becomes really important in the next stage, so the exhale, or what you sing on. So now we know where we're wanting to inhale to. I just want to talk a little bit about how much. When I was younger and I was learning classical singing, I was told to really open up my rib cage. I was meant to really push that out and take in as much breath as possible, because for arias, you do need to sing really long phrases at high intensity. And so you need to take more air in. But I am a contemporary singing teacher. And for contemporary music, your pop, your musical theater, your folk, your rock, we tend to not have to do such long lines. It's much more based around storytelling, and so we get more breaths. So I would suggest starting with about 40 to 50%. You want to start relatively low, and then if you need more for a line, then you take more in. So we really want to be thinking about how much air we take in relation to how long we're needing to sing for, which makes sense, right? So I suggest also you printing out the lyrics or putting them in a Word document if you want to save paper, and marking where the breaths are. So you can listen to the original artist. Sometimes you're going to have it in sheet music if you're using that, but note where you're needing to take a breath so that you can stay focused on how you're breathing, and you can make notes as to, I need more breath here. So inhale more here. The last thing I want to talk about with the inhale is how it goes in. So we can breathe nice and low in the body. We can get the expansion in all 3 areas by gasping the breath in or by allowing the breath in. And what I mean by that is, you'll be able to hear it in the mic, versus this nice silent breath. So one of the best ways I've found to get students to play around with this is actually to breathe all of your air out. So get everything out of the tank, hold your breath for a split second, and then open your mouth and let the air drop in the body. I want you to keep this nice and open. You don't want to make any sounds, so you don't want the vocal cords coming in and interrupting that. We want to see if we can get the breath silent. Feel what that is like versus this kind of gasping or dragging of the air in. Often when we gasp in, it also goes really shallow into the body, so we want to avoid doing that. So there's 3 things that I want you to think about when you are practicing your inhale, and it will take practice. It's going to take focus, because you're just going to want to sing a song and breathe shallowly into the chest as you do day to day. And also, if you're nervous, your breathing is probably more likely to be shallow. So doing a few of these relaxed breaths before you go on stage, if you're feeling a little bit nervous, can not only help you remember how you want the breath to go in your body, but also calm down your nervous system. So a lot of my students who suffer with anxiety actually like working on their inhale just because it makes them feel better. So try that out if you have that challenge in your life. So I want you to know how it goes in. So can you listen for whether or not you are hearing that gasp, or whether or not you're hearing very, very little, pretty much silent, that dropping in of the air, that allowing of the air? Do you feel the expansion a little at the rib cage, a little at the belly, and a little around the back? If you don't feel the belly expanding, lie down on the ground. It's so much easier to feel that expansion, A, when you're relaxed, and B, when you are lying down on the ground. So you can pop your hand on your belly there. As I said, this is kind of my go-to when singers are learning how to inhale, so that you can feel it. You can get the kinesthetic feedback as to whether or not your body is expanding in the right places. And the third thing is, how much are you taking in? And as I said at the very beginning, be discerning. You can take in 40%, see how that feels. You can take in 80% and see how that feels. Everything is up to you. It's your body, it's your voice. Make the choice, but really pay attention to how easy it is to vocalize afterwards. So the next piece of the puzzle is what you do with that air, the exhale, and then we start talking about breath support. So if you want to check that out, I will link that here. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, please hit me up. If you found it useful and you think other people might as well, share it around. Spread the love. All right, I will see you next time. Bye.